going on, everybody? This is Box Talk with Luis Madrid. Today we're here at the Ramos Boxing Academy, the newly improved Ramos Boxing Academy here in Casa Grande, and we're here with Jesus El Mono Ramos. How are you doing today, champ?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you for giving me a little bit of time. I know you're really busy right now. I really appreciate it, and I know it's been a while since we've had a conversation on camera, so I'm excited to be here and kind of catch up with you, see what you have going on.
Yeah, man. It's been some time now.
For sure. Speaking about that, I know that you're somebody that's been really busy in your career. You're always really busy. It seems like you're fighting maybe 4 times a year. And it seems like this year, 2022, it seems like you started off really quick. You had 2 fights, and then you've been kind of quiet the rest of the year. Was that something that was planned?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. We were going to have 3 to 4 fights this year. That's why we kind of fought February, and then back in May. It was a quick turnaround. But, with everything that was going on, they couldn't get, Crawford and Spence going on. I was supposed to be on the undercard. That fight fell through. And so, a lot of fights like that were supposed to be made didn't get made. They even called us about the Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. That was supposed to be in December, and with that falling through as well, it kind of left us with no room, nowhere to fight in, and it gets hard too once you're like. Now they always told us, but once you're like up there with the better guys of the division, it gets tough to make the fights. You got to negotiate a little more, and it gets a little more complicated.
For sure, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But speaking about the last time you did fight, I believe it was in May in Brooklyn on the Tank and Rolly undercard.
Yeah.
You did have a fight against Luke Santamaria, which is somebody who had I guess a controversial win on paper against your uncle Abel Ramos. Yeah. What do you remember about that fight? I know it's kind of old news already, but what do you remember about that fight? And then did you go into that fight kind of just thinking, I'm getting revenge for my uncle, or was it just another fight for you?
No, yeah, I think that was the main thing. I went in there looking for revenge for my uncle. I was trying to kind of knock him out with one punch, and I think I could have set it up a little better. But that's the way it is, you just gotta learn from that. I let my emotions play a factor in that fight, and that was wrong. But it was a fun fight, man. It was a fun fight. It was definitely an experience because when I fought here in Vegas, there was a lot of Mexican crowd. A lot of people were like, I came out with my Spanish song, my corrido, and everybody was happy and cheering on, and over there, I came out with also like a Spanish song, and nobody was really feeling it. It's just a different
energy.
Different energy, different vibes, all of that, different fan base. It was more of a Tank Davis fan base, and I think that's kind of what threw me off a little bit as well. Because you kind of feed off of that, all that vibe when you're walking out and people are cheering you on. Kind of feed off of it, you get pumped up, and for that one it was just a different experience for sure.
And that was your first time fighting in Brooklyn, correct?
First time fighting in Brooklyn. First time fighting all the way out there. I think the farthest I fought was
Minnesota, no?
In Mississippi, yeah, Biloxi,
okay.
Mississippi, I think it was. Oh, in Minnesota too.
Yeah.
Minnesota too, yeah. And it was just different.
For sure. And so speaking about that, you're currently fighting in one of boxing's hottest divisions, which is 154 pounds. There's a ton of really good guys, a lot of really good talent in that division, starting from Charlo and Tony Harrison and Lubin and all those guys, Fundora. There's so much talent at 154 pounds. What do you think of the state of the 154-pound division right now, and how do you see yourself competing against those guys?
Right now I think it has a lot of talent, like you mentioned, a lot of it. And there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of good fights to be made, and I feel like even the 147 guys, like Spence, Crawford, all those guys are gonna come up to 154 eventually, and there's even more fights, But it's just exciting. I feel like I said earlier, I feel like I'm in between those guys already. I'm top 13 in the world. Those names are being thrown at me now, and things are changing. So right now we just gotta stay disciplined, stay focused the way we have been. Nothing's changed. We're just training harder. That's the only thing that's changed, and we're just gonna be ready. The kind of mindset that we've had is they can control when we fight, they can control when we step in that ring, but they can't control how ready I'll be. I'm getting ready if I had a fight tomorrow or next week. We're training hard. We're making the right adjustments, and we're doing what we have to do on our part. It's not going to depend on me. It's going to depend on them.
For sure.
And when I become a world champion, just they'll know that I was ready.
For sure. And I know you're not big on being one of those type of people that makes a lot of noise on social media or calls people out or anything like that. But just speaking competition wise, is there any of those guys in particular that you would want to fight? Any of those names?
The champion, man, Charlo. He's a guy that we all want, that we all gotta get, and that's the guy that I want to fight. I think he's right now the best at 154. No questions asked. He's earned it. He's earned that, and that's the man we gotta beat.
For sure. And getting a little bit off topic from that, I did want to ask you. I know you've always been a really humble person, and you're always, for the people that aren't from Arizona, Casa Grande, Arizona I would consider it a small town, right? It's a place that's growing.
Yeah.
And so recently, I don't know if it was just you or your team or your gym, your family. I'm sure everybody had a hand in it. You guys wanted to bring amateur boxing to Casa Grande, so you guys, had an amateur show. Can you talk to me a little bit about, how that idea came about, how that show went, and if you guys have plans for a future amateur show?
That was just me and my dad just brainstorming one day. What if, some amateur boxing here in Casa Grande, what would happen? We thought it would be a cool idea, and we made it happen. We're fortunate enough to be in a better position right now where we can make things like that happen, and it was a way kind of to give back to the community. We just thought we'd get the community support, and that's how we brought about it. And we had everybody working on it. As soon as me and my dad came up, like, let's do it. We had the whole team working with us for that, and I was actually in camp. I had just started camp in Vegas, and we drove down, and we attended the event and went back into camp. But yeah, man, it was something that I enjoyed a lot. I like going to the amateur fights. My little brother fights amateur, and I love watching him fight and watching the other kids fight. It's where it all started. It's where we all used to do it before the cameras, before the big stages, before the payday, all of that. That's where it all started. That's where they do it, not just for the money or for this or for that. It's just because they love it, and being around that, it's cool to me, seeing how the kids work so hard, and for just a trophy to at the end, that's all they get, just a trophy, and to be able to say that they won. And I remember how that used to be big for me, so I like to support them. And it's something cool for me, to watch them compete and do it at a high level, man, because some of these kids are really talented, and it's cool to watch that.
Right. And do you anticipate that you guys might have another show soon? Is that something in the works, or?
It's not in the works as of now. Honestly, we thought we were going to get a better response from the community, and it sucks, man, but I think that's why Casa Grande is so small, it's just things like that. People they're not open-minded for none of that. Right. We had things like Sam's Club. We had different Target out here, and they closed down because, there's no support from nobody out here, and it's tough. It's not easy, and I think we had more people from Yuma, man, come down from Yuma, from Phoenix, from Tucson. They all came down, and people from here they weren't nowhere to be found, man. So. Right. We gotta wait on that. See what we can get.
For sure. Well, that's unfortunate, man. The next thing that I just kind of following up on that, again, you just always keeping no matter what you accomplish, you always stay as a really humble human being. I always see you and your family and your Uncle Abel and your pops and everybody at fights here in Arizona, regardless of how big the card is, whether it's a small local show or a big card. Why is it so important for you to, to keep doing that, to keep supporting the local fighters, the young fighters, and, always showing up to support the Arizona talent? Because, I mean, most of the fights, basically all the fights are in Phoenix, and it's at least like an hour drive from where you're at with no traffic, and you're always out there. So why is that so important to you?
It's important because, I've been through all of that. I've been through those shows. We're fortunate to be at a higher level right now, where if you don't get to make it, my fights are on TV. So you got two options, and with these local fighters, they need that support, and I feel like me when I was coming up, I felt like that's what I wanted, people to actually support me, people to go out and watch me perform, because that's what I had been working hard for. And whenever I have time and whenever I can, I make the drive out there and I go watch them fight, because I remember how important it used to be for me. So I like to show that, and I always say, in all my interviews, that Arizona has a lot of talent, and I would be a hypocrite, if I wasn't supporting the talent.
Right.
And I'm always gonna support them. I'm always, if anybody needs a hand, we're here in any way, whether that be with training, with sparring, with advice, anything, we're here. We're not where we want to be. We're not at the top of the chain yet, but I think we're at a pretty good spot to give advice, to say, what, we do things this way. I cut weight like this. I used to do it like this, but now this works out for me. Just little advice that can come in hand. And it's really cool, when somebody helps you out like that. And we experienced it firsthand when we went to training camp with Terrence Crawford. He was always, this with that, this, and the whole team was, for this, we do this, or stuff like that. And it's stuff that we have implemented in our training camps, and it's helped us out a lot. So I know what kind of help, that brings to fighters coming up, and some people that just don't know how things work. And when people give you that advice, it really opens up your mind,
For sure. And speaking about the new gym here that you have here, again, how did that idea come about, or what made you guys think that it's time for a new gym? And was it more of a relocation? Was it more important for you to relocate, or was it just to upgrade the building and just upgrade everything in general?
We had already had plans, of doing something like this, but obviously we were comfortable. We had our own spot. We had our own gym. It was like a home. We had it for like 5 years, I think 6 maybe, and so it was a home, something that we called home. And we didn't want to. We obviously wanted something like this, a lot bigger, something that was ours, and maybe more in the center of town, more than all the way out there. Like I say, we were comfortable, and then they started making some adjustments to contracts, to the ones that were around there, and we didn't like it. So that was kind of our little push to just do it, and that's when we started looking for buildings that we could own. And this came about, and there was a whole bunch of offices here, man. A lot of them, like I want to say 3 or 4 offices here. And as soon as we bought it, we started knocking down walls, and the ceiling was a little lower, and we knocked the ceiling down, all of that. And the cool part, it was us, it was me, my dad, my uncles, a couple guys from the gym that were helping us out. And it was us, we did everything. We were learning on the job, but we did it. And I think we did a pretty good job, man.
Yeah, I remember I saw you on Instagram, man. You almost killed yourself when the roof came off.
Yeah, man, the roof came down and we started running. Yeah.
For sure. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Before we let you go, do you have any last words for everybody, for your family, for your supporters, fans, friends, any sponsors that you have, and any social media that you want to give out, any potential fight date for you?
Yeah, man. The next fight is going to be a very interesting fight. We're in the works with something that's going to be, I think, big. I think it's going to be a fight that everybody's going to look forward to. And stay tuned, stay tuned for those news. And everybody can follow me on Jesus Ramos Jr. _ on Instagram and Jesus Ramos Jr. on Twitter and Facebook.
For sure. Well, there you have it, man. Jesus El Mono Ramos Jr. I appreciate you giving me some time as always, man. Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Whoop it, bitch, I'm outside of some movies.